out there, all my Far Out Friday friends. I'm so glad to see you today, and it is a very special day. Today is Earth Day. We need to take care of our earth. This is where we live. This is what the air that we breathe, and this gives us the things that we need to live, like food, water, and shelter. Now, I have some interesting things to tell you today. We've been talking about recycling the whole month of April, and the green arrows that go around stand for reuse, reduce, and recycle. Now, I just want to take a few minutes and tell you about some of the things that I recycle at my house every single week. One thing that I recycle at my house, I recycle meat trays, and they're made out of styrofoam. And you know styrofoam is not good for our earth because it doesn't break down. But I can reuse these styrofoam plates, and I will tell you one thing that I love to do with this. I love to pour my paint in here. So anytime that I'm doing arts and crafts, I can use one of these meat trays to put several different colors of paint in so that I have a palette for my paints. You can also pour glue in here for certain things that you do. So that's one thing that I recycle. Another thing that I am recycling right now is newspapers, and I keep a basket that keeps all of my newspapers in it, and I have a friend who takes the newspapers and she uses the newspaper for her pets. Now, I've also heard that some animal shelters will take paper. They love to use the paper for the animals' boxes and things like that. And newspaper is an insulator, so it does keep you warm, and it does soak up wet and water. So that's a good thing. That's another thing that I recycle. Another thing, excuse me for dipping out of the picture, but another thing that I recycle are box tops. I feed my animals a lot I put their bowls in a box top and set it down. That way they don't make a great big mess. And then sometimes when I'm working on an activity, I'll put my activity in the box top that I have here. I get these every time that I get cans of animal food. Another thing that I recycle the canned Pop Tops off of my cat food and my dog food. So that's something else I recycle. Now, another special thing that I'm recycling are bottle caps, bottle tops. And all of the ladies at the library are recycling these. And later, we're going to ask you to come by and get a game that we've made up, a game of tic-tac-toe, and you will pick out, or we will give you 2 colors of bottle tops and a bag to keep your tic-tac-toe game in. So that's another thing that I'm recycling right now, and that's plastic, so that's a good thing to recycle. Now, one other thing that I recycle, Mr. Gary is a woodworker. So I recycle all kinds and shapes and pieces of wood. This, as you can see, is a triangle. I have another cube or square. I love to recycle pieces of wood like that because our activity today is going to use some of that recycled wood. I also have a piece of recycled wood here that he made for something, and I kind of confiscated it. Do you know what that word means? That means I kind of went and got it and took it over. But I'm going to use this in the activity that we had planned for today. Now, one other special thing that I want to tell you about, I have some books that I want to share with you. This book is called Cups, Paper Plates, Fans, and this is craft projects from recycled materials. Now, as I was reading this book, on the inside, it told me that this book is actually made from recycled paper. I love it. That was so interesting to me. I was reading a book that was made from recycled paper. Now, another book that we have at the library that you may want to check out is Creating by Recycling. This has some very interesting arts and crafts in it. And I have one more book for today, and it's called Creative Crafts from Plastic Bottles. So, we have lots of recycling books that teach you how to do things at the library. Stop by anytime and check one out from our library and take it home, and you can create something wonderful. Now, I'm going to turn the camera just a minute and show you what I have created. I've created a game. This is my maze, and I used bottle caps, scrap wood, recycled straws. I just put this in for decoration. This is one of my air plants that I love, and this is a base that Haddon made for me, a candle holder, but I always keep my air plant in it. So I'm using it for decoration in my maze. These are all bottle caps that I've recycled. I used some double-sided tape. You know I'm a tape person. I love a container of tape. And this is double-sided, so it sticks on both sides. And I just glued everything down except for my air plant and my candle holder. Everything else is glued in my box top that I recycle. Now, I started off and I made this little thing thinking that I was going to put my marble inside and let it roll out of here. I also thought that I might use this and let the marble ride down the edge of it. And let me see, my marble went crazy places when I was playing with it. But my cup and my top really didn't work well. So I ditched that idea. I decided not to use that. But I did decide to use the piece of wood that Mr. Gary made. And I'm going to show you. Now, I made it so that it would slide right down here on the end of this, and hopefully we're going to get it to move down our maze. Now, there's several directions it can go, and then it's going to come out down here on the edge. It's going to go through the house or the bridge and come out the edge. So let's see what we can do. Let's see, I'm going to give it a little push. All right, so I may have to move. We're going to get it to go there. I'm going to have to move it. Okay, here we go. And it rolled out and onto the table. Now, all of these things are recycled things. I hope that you can create your own and have a great time. You take care, and I will see you next week. Happy Earth Day, everybody. Bye.